2016 as a law, and know that a prime minister is going to ask the court to struck out that part of the law?
And
So how is it going to hold our leaders and our public servants accountable then if you move that part of the law?
There you go. Because remember, that this is not just something for the PM alone. It is for the entire public servants, including other ministers of government, MPs, everyone, high-ranking members in the police force, etc., etc. But the fact that it touched the prime minister said struck it down. Again, what can go so? Make no sense.
I tell you something, OB. If it is struck out, up to the very temporary clerk in these government ministries is going to become very corrupt, Like it's going to be a river coming right on the stream. Because they are not blind. The clerks in the office say exactly what's happening over top,
My friend, the mute to make this point. I was traveling through a particular, and hi to all the decent, law-abiding police officers who are hard-working and who are indeed, saying that, listen, they want to see proper policing in this country, and they believe that the human rights body has a role to play, so as they have a role to play. But I was going through a particular area of the country, and I was stopped. And the police officers recognized me right away and started to commend me on the work that I'm doing on radio and so on and in spaces like this. And of course, I tell them a big thank you. And, the police officer, they were saying that, boy, listen, as a matter of fact, one of the team leaders said to me that he voted for Andrew Holness in 2016. And he voted, 2016 or whatever, he said he voted for Andrew Holness. And he believed that he would have seen some real difference as somebody who is the first post-independence prime minister and what he was saying and so on. And the man is saying that it is the biggest disappointment he has ever seen. And in our chorus, they are saying that, listen, they can't wait for the election to be called. Police officers are saying that. So and the police officers are also asking the question, since when the Jamaica Labour Party love police? Because they remember that the police could not set foot into Western Kingston. They remember a lot of things. They remember what police officer came under in terms of comments from Desmond McKenzie, the late Edward Siaga et al. So police officers are saying, listen, we know these guys. We know them for what they were, so don't come now and try to curry favor. And they're also asking the question, when they ask for increased wages or for them to get their overtime money, will the government and will operatives or surrogates of the government come out and tell themselves so they're going to wear blue to support the police to get their wages? Those are the questions that police officers are asking, rank and file and gazetted officers rather.
I have heard many police officers come saying the same thing too. Especially when we stop on a Sunday to have a little relaxing and have a drink, they tell the same thing. But it's funny, Andrew is using the police force to do a lot of his dirty work. And when I see Andrew when the voice said there was this standout regarding excess police. I guess they are sending the wrong signal about the JFJ. The JFJ didn't come out and hold in a demonstration against police. What they are saying for accountability.
Indeed.
Just wear your body camera when you're going on these raids. So that at least everybody can see. Your argument is that there was a shootout. The citizen said there was no shootout. So if we have the camera, we can look back and say, yes, this is not excessive. The police came under fire. What is so wrong with asking that? And I see the Prime Minister dressed in his blue, went out, he's showing he's totally against the JFJ. Went up to a commanding officer, shake him and ask him, give me some report on what is happening here. What about that little child that died in my He has never said condolence to the parents in his country that child that died in his country. So you come out and choose to say what how far the investigation is going with that little child that died in my constituency.
Good.
Why no?
Hold 1 second here. Omalo, is this Omalo? I think he may have called me in the past, but if it's the same person, he tend to call the various talk shows and so on. I'd like to know. I'd like to know if it's the same person, because he has a way of putting out some of these issues here. Although I must say, within recent time, as we kind of shift his position and put in some pressure, asking some question of the government of Andrew Holland. Don't know if it's the same person, but certainly my moderator is a very tough cookie, Abba, and she's going to push back on you, Amalo, once you come here to talk nonsense and tell lies. So you must bear that in mind. Madam Moderator, is there anything that you want to add early? I know Dino is on his feet, but you want to just come in and let people hear your voice?
Oh yeah, me and my echo thing. Good afternoon, Comrades. Hi, Dino. Hi, Sir Bless. I just want to say one thing, that Andrew Holness, Delroy Chang, Police Commissioner. Delroy Chuck. I said what I wanted to say. What is Chuck's name? The Security Minister, the Justice Minister, Andrew Holness, the Police Commissioner. They are, in my estimation, they represent an existential threat to lives of youths in this country. Okay, that's what they represent, an existential threat to lives of youths. Now, what we have noticed, just the other day, these people, remember, there was a public-private partnership that was signed with England, right, on this prison thing and lengthening terms of incarceration for people, right? Now you are telling me that a youth, they said, would get up to 30 years for any analyzing, whether it was like accidental or not really planned or intended, right? What did happen, right? Somebody else an adult who does not know will get it. It can't appeal until after 50 years. Now, these are the kind of, prison terms that they were told to do when they made that public-private partnership with England. You understand? No, these are, I'm not saying that person should not be incarcerated, but are we saying that it's going to take our men? Somebody might have done something and somebody threw a stone and hit somebody and they were unalived. Or somebody come in your house and you're going to tell me that the threat is running away. So because I probably unalived him backwards going to the door, then I'm going to go to, and what is that? Who is that you brought up now? Let me see who you bring up. Taurus baby. Let me see.
Taurus baby.
Really can't take the problem with the back and forth, because why
you have to guide me there.
No, man, it's okay. We can always think there, right? But let me tell you something, man. Things are not right, and what Andrew Holness didn't realize that he has done. When you come out against, he didn't come out against the JFJ. He came out against the citizens of Jamaica. You are saying he came out against the JFJ. He came out against the citizens of Jamaica. That's who he came out against. He was saying to them, I am standing with the police. And nobody hates the police here. There is nobody here who is against the police, because we're all law-abiding people. You understand?
Indeed.
We are all law-abiding people. But these are two agencies of the state that have different roles to play. Okay? And what you're doing is every agency that picks up for the impoverished or the poor youth or their family, you try to take away them teeth. You try to make them unable to bite, just bark but no bite. And it is wrong. So he didn't come out against the JFJ, as I said before. He came out against our marginalized youths, because they will not target the Beverly Hills youths. it must be by chance or they didn't know. They won't target the Norbrook youths. They will target the Cherry Gardens or the Waterworks youths. You understand? It's the marginalized youths that they're targeting. You get me? And it is unfair. It is wicked.
The youth as well like to say below crossroad, and that
Below crossroad.
and that
Okay.
below crossroad can be transferred into any community above crossroad that basically have marginalized people. So maybe even though let's say you have Akiwa that is above crossroad, right? Uptown as it were. But it is a ghetto community as we like to call it, or a community where people who are marginalized are. Those people are under fire, and as you said, the state basically through the action of the Prime Minister, they are the youth that they are going after. And you know what is sad? At the end of the day, the Prime Minister said, listen, he can turn it up and turn it up and down when he's ready by putting on a class and go out there and do what he wants to do. A practicing politician said to me recently that the person who is going up in northeast Manchester, she was serving, that person I gathered, she was serving time overseas before in ambassadorial position. I gather she's the one who's going up northeast Manchester. You know what the practicing JLP politician said to me? That she's going up there with a flood of money. Money is going to wash the place in northeast Manchester. So they believe that they can go into northeast Manchester and use money to win the seat from Valentine Wint of the PNP. But I tell you that I'm in that space, and the people of northeast they have a next guest coming, because the people have made their minds up, and they are saying that Shaw has been there for 33 years and they gave him latitude. They're not happy with what he's done, but he's gone now. And they're saying that their hometown boy, Valentine Wint, who have been there with them, a man that live in the constituency, that they can always go to his house, they can see him anytime. They're not going to accept nobody come with a parachute just weeks before and talk about you're going to come and with a war chest that is second to none. It won't happen. It won't happen. Come back in, Abba. Sorry, I had to say that. All right, Dino, come up, Dino. Dino, unmute and.
I'm here.
Yes. Yeah, man. So can you imagine what that this cable fuel all the people of Jamaica that listen. They can turn it down and come into this place with a war chest and win election. And support the people for the next 5 years or whatever.
Well, you see, and that is why I tell people all the while, the JLP has never used enough money to educate the nation, because if they educate the nation, they will know exactly and can read and see exactly what the JLP is up to. I sit and listen to many lives since week, and I realized the JLP was so much about the JFJ. When the JFJ came out against Mark Bolin with that skit and said Mark should have apologized, right? They didn't see the JFJ as being a pimp or bash or partial at that time, But know that the JFJ is saying, no, we want the crime done. Everybody's happy for the crime done, but we have to protect the citizens. We are not saying the police is lying. We are saying give account. I don't know why this government is afraid for accountability. Anyway you draw them to accountability, they'll give you a pushback. All they are saying, let us have an accountability. So when you say we just did 9 persons at the house and it was all a shootout, let us see the footing that you were under a shootout. There was no alternative. Yet the government takes side and will slaughter that poor JFJ. And I'm saying, what type of government is this? Instead of calling it, even call them to a table and say, listen, we understand your cry, but we don't have enough of these cameras, but we try our best to see how best we can address it. You don't beat them down. You give them a hand. Because it's a government duty to show transparency, I don't know what type of state we're heading for.
Well, certainly we're heading for a police state where brutality is the order of the day. Because when you don't have killing, we're seeing it. We're seeing when people believe that they can pull and drag and shove other persons and so on and treat them however they want to because they have a little power. And what we're saying is no. We want Jamaica to indeed, as the PNP had coined it and was working on it, Jamaica to be the place to live, raise families and do business. And that's another point, Dino, about viewers, everyone, as you tap up the screen there for me, everyone, remember that it was something that came out, I think it came out of I think it was something that followed through from PJ to Portia, where they come up with this Vision 2030, and the PNP Jamaica rather was well on the way to achieve that since this wellness administration took office in 2016. The vision where we are backwards, we are further behind where we were in 2016 than where we are now in 2025. That's the hard, cold facts. And we must put those things out there, and all of those things will be on the ballot in 2025 in the general election. Right? All of those things, the chief among them as well, and I'm not going to stop saying, the fact is that integrity is on the ballot. We have two persons offering themselves to run this country. One is at the wicket for 9 years. He's uncertified. The other one have never been a prime minister, but we know of his track record as a businessman, as a corporate lawyer. And he's certified, and his certification
and very short spell Obi as a Minister of Justice. Very short spell. We saw the work he did with as a short period of time as Minister of Justice. So we have great confidence in him as a leader to say he would do a much better job.
There you go. And you know, whether we support ganja, whether we smoke it or whatever, or we make tea with it or whatever, the fact of the matter is that a lot of our ordinary youths have gotten prison term. Some of them, their career were blighted and so on. And indeed, Mark Golden, and that goes to show the kind of thinking on the man's mind that he is thinking about everybody, is thinking about the youth that are downtrodden, who may have find themselves smoking a spliff and get a police record, and their life was basically, as I said, blighted, you know, are stunted, as we say. In Jamaica we say stunted, and life stunted, right? Because they could not take up opportunities outside of Jamaica, or even to get a job or get an opportunity in Jamaica. Mark Golden, when he was Justice Minister under Portia Simpson Miller leadership, by the stroke of a pen, basically ensure that our youngsters basically get a new lease in life. We have to heal the man. Go ahead, Dino.
I hear people talking garbage like he has been a prime minister before. Yes, the PNP has been in power more than one time, but Mark has never had the helm of holding and rolling during this country. This is his first attempt. So why they try everything possible, color, race, everything, and nothing holds. They just can't find anything. Now they're complaining that he give him hand over his house to his children. Every good thinking parents hand over their house to their children. What is wrong with giving the children his house?
You see what happened? Here the thing. Mark Golden and the PNP and the people of Jamaica found the prime ministers wanted in terms of integrity and so on, and the prime minister and the JLP just cannot handle that. So what happened? They have been throwing a lot of mud on the wall and none not sticking. And you know, when one of the things that we said that we all go to a grave with, even if we go without a cent, is our integrity. And guess what? At this moment, the Prime Minister integrity, by virtue of what we receive from the IC and so on, it is in tatters. And that is what the JLP and the Prime Minister have to live with right now, and until the Prime Minister provide further and better particle that makes sense, then certainly is underwater. And what we're seeing here in Jamaica, where it seems as if a lot of machinations are taking place behind the scene, it is questionable, because if you have the FID that the thing has been thrown to carry out their investigation, which is the major investigating body to deal with criminal matters as it relates to financial crime. Because let's not forget, that the PM was basically read the judge's rule, which said that, listen, you should lawyer up. And when the judge's rule is read, it means that you are now under criminal investigation. And on me say so. Don't come at me. It's not me say so. It's the body that has been basically been empowered by the parliament of the land to carry out the line. Is they present a 100, I have the documents here. How much was it? 107. I don't want to tell them lies. But whatever amount of pages it is, we can find it in the documents to basically put out there to you if you disbelieve us. Let's see who is jumping up in the box here. Let's see who is here. All right. Somebody is there. Clifford.
Let me tell you, Sir Conrad. I heard when Dino came on, he said he doesn't talk much in spaces anymore. And I think that Dino would notice that I no longer talk in spaces anymore. When I pass and I hear the same conversation going over and over, I say it becomes redundant. Why it becomes redundant? When I see battle on live, right? Dino is sure this is my friend. Anyway, I saw mute that one, man. But when I hear them on live, and they're particularly on Liberate Live, and they're talking, and I'm saying, what's the point? It's not as if we started talking about this thing last week. And even if we started talking last week and people wanted to know truth, they would have gone and found the truth out. But these people are just wicked. They know the truth and they're trying to rewrite history. And I tell them they can't. So it's not as if going on their life and having debate or discussions leads to disrespect, scant regard, because they're not going to accept truth, because we're doing it over a year, 2 years now. And you keep you keep saying something, and if they want to know truth, they would have gone and investigated that. They don't want to know the truth, and they're still trying to put out lying and spew venom. They do not care about truth. Right? Yes. They do not care about truth. What Mark Golding and Julian presented in our parliament, right? With us out here by ourselves putting out information out to the people, right? Peacefully and decently. Mark Golding presentation in parliament. That sealed it. Whether I would like it or not, and the only thing of the police, I can tell him not have no police, him not have the soldiers. Everyone wants to see the back of this man. You understand?
Good.
Everybody
One
wants
second
to
here, Abo. Faye Thompson out of Mandeville, I'm trying to bring you up in the box. You're familiar with Faye here, Abo? This Faye?
Yes, that's Faye.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's bring her up. Let's bring up Faye. Good. Go ahead, Abo.
Abo, I was listening to Obi this week and I laugh when the good writer from the Gleaner Company trying to compare the PMP with the GLP and said both of them is corrupt. Tell me, in the history of the PMP, who has ever been charged or ever investigated for corruption in the PMP? One only member of parliament, and this was Colonel Spencer, and the court set him free.
Yes.
They bring up a lot of scandals, which is stupidness. Cafe Gora can be a corruption. If it would be work for the university. And if the university policy is my company policies, I should not give gifts to university. And if I breach my company policies and give OB a present, OB is not corrupt. I am the person from my company who has breached my company act. So the only person can be charged is me, not OB. OB company stopping from the party there's nothing in the party they can't take outside contribution. Traffic Gura in the country, the Traffic Gura operation, it is said that you cannot give. So if they gave a contribution and it was brought out to the light, Traffic Gura will have to face the penalty in his country.
All right, Shaka Fame is in the box. Let's bring up Shaka Fame, Shaka, and indeed, let's just remind persons that Shaka Fame is the spokesperson and culture and the creative industry for the PNP, the man who hails out of Eastern Portland. Shaka, welcome to the Conrad OB TikTok Live.
Well, go on, brother, bringing some sanity to TikTok.
How do you do, Shaka?
Well, go on.
Abo is very much here, my moderator. Big her up.
Abo, blessings. Well, go on.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, Shaka. You know, we have been talking about the way that institutions in Jamaica have been gutted. And you know, we have been looking at, for example, the office of the political ombudsman. We have also talked about how the prime minister, have the IC in court to struck down one of what really made the IC, that of the whole business of illicit enrichment and so on. And we could basically talk about so many other institutions that have been a shadow of themselves since this whole administration took office.